Welcome back. You know what it is. You know what this is. I don't have to tell you. I'm here with Shepard.
Hey guys.
Just hanging out at the Dinsmores.
Yeah.
Blood Bank, Hero, Redwood, the Jesus, and a stranger. All went down to Monroe. Well, there's a whole thing. Some of them are going to Gold Bar for the medicinal store there, and then some of them are going to Monroe.
They're going to resupply.
Yep.
And fix a broken foot.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the mission.
I hope someone can give me an 8-ounce fuel can. I'll call. Who would more likely be able to get it? Hero? Well, anyways, we're doing business. Yeah, we're doing business on the recording. This is not a informative podcast. This one's just going to be...
No, this is just a platform for anyone to slam anyone at any time.
Yeah, that's what I've created here, for sure. But you were just talking about how... Or I'll let you talk about it. Because then I had something else.
Well, we were talking about like what we wanted to talk about on this podcast, and we didn't want to talk about like the regular old... We hiked this mile, did this, went to this epic place that's not on the PCT kind of a podcast.
And 30 seconds into talking about what we should talk about, we were like, let's just record.
Yeah, we were talking about it already. But basically, we started talking about how the people that you meet on trail and associate with and, you know, become part of basically an extended traveling family like the tribe has become, or for the most part, people you probably would never have had any interaction with, obviously geographically, but if you did live in that same area, the chances of something happening there were even still not that likely. Like, we were just talking about it, and like, Jafar and I could have ran into each other any moment in time, like at a house party, and we may have like had fun that one night, but most likely we probably wouldn't have liked each other, I don't think.
Like even if we lived in the same neighborhood, or like went to the same school or something, probably wouldn't be a friendship there, which is weird.
Yeah, but now it's like we connect on weird levels, which
that's
what started all
the
this.
conversation. Yeah.
It's just a look.
We often make eye contact in a certain situation, and we both know exactly what each other's thinking, and we both make a face like, we're on the same page here. I don't know. Oh, that was the song that was playing. That's what happened. But I was talking to Blood Bank about how like my friends out here, like, you're getting more one-on-one time too, so you're definitely developing with each other quicker, which I definitely like. You just get like head over heels friendship kind of thing, because you get swept into it. You wake up together, you go to bed together.
Well, yeah, it goes from like the initial acquaintance of you meet somebody to you kind of maybe see them throughout a day to you're now roommates essentially.
Yeah, and then like if you stay in a town together.
Well, just like being on the trail, sharing a campsite even.
Yeah,
you know, it's
it's interesting. But I was telling her like how my friends out here are so much different than my friends from home, because it's like like out here I wouldn't tolerate some stuff that I tolerate with my friends, because they're like weird. My friends I would consider them like in the spectrum of all of them, like eclectic. There's different people from different, like,
you have different friends from different backgrounds or parts of your life too.
And you accept everyone.
I guess this is part of that.
Like for that it's like weird, because like I chose them, and like I've accepted them for who they are, and that's why I love them, and that's why our friendship's great. But out here it's like, if there were a dick or something to put up with, like I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna hike. Like I'm not.
Well, yeah, but that's part of you choosing your friends and who you hang out with.
True, but
you don't want to hang out with dicks.
Yeah.
So you don't hang out with dicks on trail or off.
But but what I'm saying is like some of my friends would maybe be considered dicks, and I'm just like, oh, that's his charm. That's this person's like thing. But if they were on trail, wouldn't be friends with them. But the people on trail, it's like there's a different like common
people
thread.
just aren't dicks on trail, I guess.
There are. That's true. There's not too many dicks. Like if I ever met one or whatever, then like I didn't even get their trail name, or it's like you forget it or you walk away or something.
Yeah. You just
I can't
don't
think of any. Yeah, I can't think of any, but I mean, we could slam whoever we want.
But good positive experience. Like I was thinking about it the other day, like when we were hiking, and people often ask, what's the best part of the trail? What's your favorite thing about the trail? And I've been asked this question for over a year now. And to me, it's the people. It's all of the social interaction. It's the seeing humanity maybe in a different light or something, or just opening yourself up to viewing it, being exposed to so many strangers and new people from different backgrounds and everything.
Oh, you're putting yourself in a position where you have to rely sometimes on people, you know? Mm-hmm. And that is cool. Because you can live a normal life without being dependent on someone.
Everything else we do is the exact same, you know. We walk, which is our work, or exercise or whatever, you know. You cook, you clean, you do dishes, you know, that kind of thing, make your bed or whatever. But it's a lot like normal life, or it's just become normal life. Like, I don't know, what is normal life?
I don't know.
I'm not trying to get all touché on it.
No, not anymore. I sure don't know what normal life is, but I really felt like I got in the hang of everything. Like, by Warner Springs, I was like, I'm in, this is my life, this is my apartment. Like, I was totally in.
Yeah, but I met you guys in Idlewild, which is after Warner Springs.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you guys were our kind of people that we wanted to hang out with, but I knew that you guys didn't know at that time, like, what you were.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just the evolution of, like, a long-distance hiker trash, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And it was just still early on in the trail at that point. Hero and I talked about it one day. We're like, those are our people. They just don't know it yet. Like, they're hiker trash, but they don't know it yet.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I really dig it. I like it a lot. It's a good experience.
Yeah, I think the people is what makes it. I mean, the rewards of, you know, beautiful scenery and stuff like that are awesome, but when you don't have anybody to enjoy it with or share it with, you know, because taking pictures only goes so far. Yeah. It doesn't do justice, but those people that share the experience with you, that makes the experience that much better.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally.
Like, there are a lot of crappy times, like on trail, like weather-wise or whatever, whereas like the people are what made it a good time still.
For sure, yeah.
Or help keep my sanity. Or
definitely, man. Yeah. Like out of Tahoe, I got I think 4 or 5 days of straight rain. I had started back up with Tejas then, but that wasn't like that wasn't what kept me going. But we met Oso and Hatchet, and then I think there were some other people right with us as well. Hummingbird, did you ever meet her? Well, she was with us for a minute there, and it was just like so much easier to do it with like Oso and Hatchet, and there was some other people I can't really remember, but
Wonderland was that way too.
Yeah, just a good group of people, like not giving a fuck about 7 days of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also thinking about how like my friends in my regular life I was always a solo hiker. I was always a solo adventurer. I slept in my car so much, but that was because like my car wasn't big enough to be like I wasn't able to invite people really. So it kind of
you're living out of your car.
But also my friends weren't really the type of people that would go do something on a Friday and come back at 1 a.m. on Sunday and go back to work on Monday at 8 a.m. kind of thing. And I realized too that like all the friends and people that I've kind of like acquired and merged with, like now those people will be like fueling future adventures. Like I mean we knew Cough for you know all of 2 hours, and he's like we're gonna do the Lost Coast together for sure with Gush and everything. It's just great because I'm like yes okay and boom Cough adventure buddy. Or there's so many people that have been like, yeah, if you're coming through here, like, hit me up. I'll take you to some spots, which is super cool. I kind of wish I could say the same thing, but I'm not going back to, like, Bay Area. But, I think the friends that I've met out here are going to fuel everything. I mean, even when I'm, like, thinking of hiking the AT, there's, like, 10 stops I have now. Like 10 people.
Yeah, no, totally.
And 10, 10 places to stay, 10 people that'll probably hike out with me, probably send me a box. Or
that's how it was this year for me on this trail. Like staying with people doing magic, like all of that is just
Even I had a little bit
Seeing
of it,
people and
which
meeting
was
them
weird.
before.
And
Yeah.
that, I mean, well, one was family and one was the guy I met in Trinity Alps, which was, you know, I didn't expect. Like when I first got that guy's number and I was just talking about doing the PCT, I never thought that I was going to call that guy, stay with him, and then for 3 days in Summit Shasta.
Yeah.
You know, that never crossed my mind.
Right.
I thought he would like drive
Dude,
me into town and then take me back to church.
None of like anything that's happened would have ever crossed my mind. You can't plan or anticipate or think about anything like that.
No. And that's
you
the
never
best.
know what's gonna happen.
That's the best part about it. I think as far as like the mental game goes, like the physical's definitely hard, but I think like the mental okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh yes, thank you. That was Andrea. We're actually outside of the kind of the bunker room, just sitting on the deck where the laundry spot is. And we're just sitting on the deck, and Andrea just popped her head out of the house saying, I got another box of food for you guys, which means it's pretty late in the season right now, so someone must have called her and told them that they don't need that box. So a lot of people didn't know they got a box, or they passed this up, or some other situation. Did she say what the situation was?
Yeah, so somebody mailed a box here and wasn't coming to get it. And so she called the guy, or got a hold of him somehow, and the guy said to donate it. So she gave us this guy's resupply.
Hey, I want to read all of these, man. Cascadia Weekly.
Oh, those are all through the fire.
I'll check
Yeah,
them
you
out,
can
too.
totally read them.
Yeah. Okay, so we got some
Pecans,
yeah.
Smoked spiced pecans,
my
8
God,
ounces.
dude. Oh, look at that. Reese's spread. There are a shit ton of Snickers,
Butterfingers,
Builder's bars. Oh,
Pop
what kind of
Tarts,
Pop-Tarts? Oh, he wrote on them.
S'mores. Go figure.
Yeah.
Are there blueberry?
Cinnamon.
Oh wow.
I haven't had the cinnamon.
Wow, good box.
Yeah, this is
Thanks,
a
Mom.
great box. A lot of good stuff in here. These things are great.
Dude, Nutter Butters, dude.
Yeah. I would like to refrain from eating on this podcast, but I also wouldn't mind splitting Butterfinger.
I think
We'll
just hold off for right now.
Dude, that's awesome.
We'll
Who's the
try.
person? Let's give them a shout out.
Ship
PCT,
to
hi.
Dustin Cologne, ETA August 4th. Wow, sorry, dude. Thanks for the food.
Okay, Dustin. Thanks, man. We don't know what his trail name is, but we'll find you on Facebook, and we'll say thank you in person. Did you leave the Reese's out for
Your
purpose?
crazy aunt loves you.
Your crazy aunt
It's
loves
written
you.
on the box for you.
That's
Thought you
that's
should know.
awesome. Well, then I guess we should thank his aunt.
Yeah, thank you, crazy aunt.
Oh, what's in this bag?
Crazy aunt Joel Prochaska.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry.
He's from Arizona, or she is.
Texas.
Whoa, where?
Huffman, Texas.
Huffman. I know Hoffman. 7-7. It's probably north of.
Where are you asking about?
It's in between. Oh, I was wondering what this was.
It says 5 scoops of W.
Warm milk? Oh, it's probably breakfast essentials, or carnations or whatever.
Or maybe protein.
Gross. Oh yeah, probably protein with milk. Cool. So we just got a free little box there. That's going to help the resupply situation. We're definitely going to eat some of this before. So Hero, Redwood, and the Jesus. As you're listening to this, just
It'll
know,
be like way, way, way after the fact.
yeah, yeah. Actually, you might not even know about this box.
Yeah.
Actually, there's probably way too much in there. I don't need much. I just really
Dude,
need.
there's a lot of candy bars in here.
I just need snacks,
breakfast stuff, which I need to.
fuel
Small
canister, and I wouldn't mind having like 4 bags of chips.
Yeah.
Maybe in Skycomish tomorrow I'll get some. Okay, pardon the interruption.
Sorry, I don't know where we're at.
We were talking about the differences between real world friends and trail friends, and the relationships and how quickly they build and stuff. But we touched base pretty much on all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit it pretty good.
I mean, there was no direction on this one.
Yeah, who cares? What was your favorite part on the Enchantments? Or the hike that we did out there? To say that we hiked the Enchantments is not so accurate.
I think the highlight for me was the most ridiculous water gathering expedition known to mankind, in which Bloodbank sank in quicksand to about good mid-thigh.
Probably a good
Mid-thigh.
3 feet, 3.5 feet.
That was really interesting, and trying to get down to the water to get water.
I had no idea. I knew that she was going with you because I saw where, at one point I could still see where you guys were, and then like an hour later I was like, man, because I had tried to walk down on the other side of Snow Lake, and I was like 20 feet from the water, and I was not foot, but like my entire shoe was in, and I was like, no, not good, because I wanted to see how cold it was. Thought about maybe swimming in it, but after the quicksand thing, you could die out there in the water part would be real quicksand.
There's a lot of quicksand going on out there.
Yeah, so it was
gnarly. But it was a super cool area as far as like all the rocks and the sand and like, stuff that was going on there.
Yeah, there was
just that mission itself, like trying to get water.
Yeah, I remember when you guys came back, we were all kind of cheering for you, and then we're like, oh, they got 1 liter of water.
Well, nobody wanted,
Right.
I asked everyone, and
yeah.
everybody was like, no, I don't need water, I'm good. And I was like, all right, this is going to be an adventure, and I'm not going back.
Yeah, I think in like 2 or 3 days, I had only drank in like a liter of water.
Yeah. Use more water for cooking than drinking.
Oh, yeah. I get my water from the food that I cook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I definitely like how we drank all the beers the first night.
Oh, there were some breakfast beers.
That's true. They were within 24 hours. We had drank
A lot of beers.
I packed out about 12. Jesus packed out 24.
Yeah.
And then I think a couple of people had some more.
I drank a lot. I know that.
I was thinking we had about 40 beers.
That sounds about right.
Between 7 people, it's like 7 beers each.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. And I think I probably had 10.
I probably had more than 7.
Yeah. I definitely had more than 7. It was great though.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, okay. Trying to think. Okay, all right. My favorite part was coming down in the dark from the pass.
Yeah.
What's the name of that pass? I know on here I was like, sorry. If you are looking for any information from me,
if you're hiking the Enchantments and
it's that one pass.
you go the Snow Lake Trail, head up to Snow Lake, and you just keep going.
Beyond
up from
that,
there.
it's that
something pass, and then there's another one. And
yeah, and that cool little lake up there. But yeah, so like after it got dark, my mind, like I pretty much kind of thought I'd like really sobered up, and like, you know, we ate that big thing of ramen and all the snacks, and I kind of thought I'd like pretty much sobered up. But then like as soon as it got dark, I was like, So my favorite was just
the circus act coming downhill.
Just talking with Redwood for whatever 2.5 hours.
What do you mean talking with Redwood? All you guys were saying was Hempwick.
Hempwick. I didn't explain that either. Redwood's new
tribal name?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe it should be his new trail name. But it's his tribe name for sure, or his alter ego or something. But we've been calling him Hempwick, and we're just having way too much fun with it. But yeah, on the way down from that pass, we even said like, if there was a record for saying Hempwick most times in one day, like we broke the fucking record. And then like 30 seconds of silence, I was like, hey, just in case we didn't break the record. And then Redwood immediately is just like, Hempwick.
Yeah.
And then for a while we were trying to see how long we could go without saying beep 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 beep. And then it would be about 2 minutes. And
you think it was that long?
You're right. It would be about 30 seconds, and then Redwood would start.
It felt like 2 minutes, but
Redwood would start, and then I would say like, "I'm glad you did it," because it was just going off in my head. I couldn't stop. So I had kind of like lost my mind going down that thing, and I mean, we basically just followed those ducks all the way down, and it was a lot easier going down than I thought. Like, as far as, like, finding the path. Like, going up, I thought even in the daylight, we were... There was a couple times where I was with no one.
I feel like going down, even in the dark, you have a better vantage point than when you're going up with how steep that is and climbing over those rocks.
Well,
so you can get a better sense of it. You can see cairns maybe farther out. That's what helps, I think, a lot. Yeah.
I think you're right. And then there's also that point, too, when you're going up, when you're like, now I know my path. You're like, you look left, you look right, and they're both kind of going either a little downhill, and you're like, no, I'm going straight up that thing. That's true. Because then on the way down, it was like cliff, sort of a path. Okay, I'm going to take that sort of a path.
By sort of a path, it was like scrambling across a big rock.
Yeah, class 3. Hey, I have reception here.
There's some class 4 action going on.
Bloodbank just asked me if I have Hero or the Jesus' number. I'll send her Hero's number.
Yeah, because the Jesus didn't have it.
Oh, that's right. That's why no one has his number. I thought it was weird when Bloodbank was like, does anyone have his number? I'm like, no.
His phone's been broken the whole time he's been with us.
Yeah, you're right. Hero. And then I'm actually going to text him too, since I'm already doing all this other stuff. Anyways. What else? Yeah, so that was my favorite part. How did you feel about Goldmire?
Oh, dude, Goldmire rocks. It's one of my
Yeah. I was a little bummed about having to pay $20, but when I did, like after being in the hot springs, I was like, I'm in. Like, did I just send that to you?
I don't know. She may have just texted me the same thing. Would be my guess. Yeah.
Oh. Don't worry about it.
You got it. Now, last year, like after trail, like everybody's always asking, well, on trail, but especially after trail, you talk to so many people, friends, family back home and stuff, and they ask like, what was your favorite spot or whatever.
Goldmire.
And so I was telling people that I had like what I called my fistful of awesomeness, and so it was like my top 5. But then I realized that it had to be like a top 5 on trail and top 5 off trail, like alternate routes that I was doing, or that's what it became. And so Goldmire was on my top 5 for alternates last year. And it was probably like the number 1 on the alternate that I did last year.
You know?
But it was, that place, I mean, it's really small, and, you know, when you think about it, you're like, oh, $20, like, that's ridiculous, you know, but you get a lot for it, I feel like.
Well, you know, I mean, if you're in a state park, you're paying $35 for a fucking campsite. Although it's not per person, so that's the thing. But then when you realize that, like, you're using the facilities there, and it's top notch, man. I've never been to a better, like, cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, normally it's all, like, sulfury, and there's shit kind of everywhere, and soot in the stuff, because it's not maintained. But, like, even when we were there, that guy had to clean it up. And we thought, like, oh, this isn't going to be enough time. Or I kind of did in my mind, and it's, like, after an hour, I was, like, ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we still got another hour in. And you got to think about that, like, what is like a hot tub worth in terms of time?
Like if you went to, you know, some sort of public sauna or something like that, you know, that shit adds up, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know, cost wise.
I'm gonna cover this thing a little bit.
Paying to stay the night somewhere, you know, that costs money.
For a second I thought like it wasn't recording, and I was like gonna be a little sad. It is.
But I
recording.
think for $20 for what you get, it's money well spent.
What are your like? I guess even last year, but what were your other favorite alternatives? Because now that you said favorite alternative, I started to think, and like I can't really. I mean, would Whitney count as an alternative?
Yeah, it's not the PCT.
Okay, just like a Blue Blaze too. Yeah, Whitney was like on my top for quite a while. You want to move inside?
We can go under that thing over there.
That's actually a great idea. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this paper here. Oh, wait, this is yours.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. We are mobilizing here. It's starting to rain on us a little bit. Here, I'll just put this on top of that. And we can...
I was just going to move that too.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. We're in Washington. And it rains. It rains a little bit here sometimes. Nice. Find a little... I think I'm going to, like, find a little seat here. Oops. Build one out of this pile of wood. Jerry and Andrea keep a great pile of wood here.
We run a what do they call that? A wood burning heater or whatever.
A little wood burning stove, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the hiker dorm, so they get a bunch of wood for us, and then apparently for us to have bonfires with as well.
He said that was his first fire of the year.
Yeah.
Because of the burn. Mm-hmm. The burn ban.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about? Oh, alternative.
Favorite alternatives.
Okay, yeah. So I said Whitney as one of them. Oh, I guess San Gorgonio was also fucking awesome. San Jacinto, I don't even care that I went up that. Like, I was actually kind of like, I guess half of our group like didn't go. I went with Simba and Amanda, and that was it.
Like Devil's Post Pile would be one of those kind of a things, if you were into that, you know. So last year I did that as like an alternative and followed the JMT through that section instead of the PCT, so it gives you a little bit of a
we did that
experience.
too. Oh wait, were we together?
No.
I think we did that too, because that's why we missed Pippin. He had zoomed past us there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Northern California alternatives. Oh,
Bernie Falls is an alternative because the trail doesn't actually run to Bernie Falls.
Dude, I had a hell of a time like trying to figure out where Bernie Falls was, and like I don't know if the signs are like I ended up just going on this crazy ass loop backwards and then getting back to it.
Yeah, it's kind of funky
to get to that other bridge. I don't know why I did it, but and then when I got there, the store was closed, so I couldn't get beer. And every person that I was hanging out with, it was like Boomer, Gush, Kale, Bender.
Oh, okay. So everybody had beer.
It was still kind of like our Belden bubble. It's after Belden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was still our Belden bubble. But like everybody was wasted. Like, you know, there was no beers to be had. It was kind of sad because that's like really just all I wanted. And then I knew like I wasn't gonna wake up and go buy beer. Like I wanted to get the fuck out of Bernie Falls.
Yeah.
That looks like a pretty good scene.
That's what I'm looking
at. Yeah, just use a newspaper. And like what's funny is like the rain just stopped. But now we've got like a cabin. So
okay, now I got a cabin.
Alternatives, Shasta was fucking crazy.
See, another alternative. See, for us this year, Wonderland would be like an alternative because it's like your PCT trip, journey, adventure, or whatever. But it was an alternate.
Yeah,
not necessarily connected. To
I love that we did a through hike in the through hike.
Yeah, finally finished my first through hike.
It's my second. You know what? I finished too. I finished the JMT
as a section hike, though.
True. Yeah. Well, I kind of through hiked the whole thing. I just didn't go to Happy Isles.
Yeah.
Which, like, we were there on a fucking weekend. Tejas got that ticket. Like,
dude, Yosemite on a weekend is worse than.
I was supposed to go with Captain Crunch and Jimstone down to the valley because they got a permit for 3 days, and after the ticket, all I wanted to do was get the fuck out of there. And then that last stretch, out by Benson, when we got harassed again, and I was like, man, I want to get out of Yosemite really bad.
Yeah, I hate that stretch. I mean, I love Benson Lake, and Benson Lake was another one of those. It's not on the PCT.
Yeah, you're right. Little Crater Lake.
See, that's the thing. It's like
it's hard.
All the awesome places that I kept coming up with last year were all these alternative places that actually weren't on the PCT.
Hot Springs.
Not on the PCT.
Right. Okay. Fuck. There's a lot then. Yeah. So I think mine would be like Whitney, Ivabella, Shasta, Goldmire. Oh yeah.
Comes the second one.
Second one.
And the third one will be short, and then a long.
Second one's pretty long.
Here comes the short one.
Short one. Okay, kind of a weird long one.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sounds. All right.
Now you guys know about the trains at the Dinsmores.
Yeah. It has not affected me in one bit. Like, as far as sleeping, I've never woken up from the train, and I've never, been bothered by it. It rattles that building. But it just did not affect me. I don't know why. Redwood downloaded a badass train map. I was thinking about hopping one out of Vancouver. I don't want to go over border though with it. That's the only thing. So maybe Seattle does something. But
what about favorite spots on the PCT so far?
Yeah. So, I mean, even though I got rain, Desolation's kind of like my... I mean, even before PCT, but...
no, that whole stretch there from...
You know what? And you know what's crazy? I'd never been out of Desolation over there. So, for a second, it was like I was back home, the way you probably feel like when you're going through your section you've already done, all of that. Yeah, most of it. And then, it was like, oh, fuck, I know all of this. I know where that goes. Like, we stayed at Lake of the Woods, which was my adopt-a-lake when I volunteered there. And, I just felt like at home, and it was awesome. And then, like, right outside of that, because I've done, like, yo-yoed that section of the PCT before, because I was like, oh, I did miles on the PCT. What's weird is that I've done miles on PCT in, like, a bunch of different places. But, okay, sorry, we were talking about favorite section.
Spots on the PCT.
Okay, so,
Desolation Wilderness.
Desolation Wilderness.
Muir Hut.
Goat Rocks.
Goat Rocks for sure.
Yeah, I mean, most of the JM2 was just like... Forester Pass was so cool.
I really like Muir Pass.
Yeah, Muir Pass is great.
Kind of the way you sum it up over it, and the hut there. Like, I've stayed in the hut both times I've been up there, and the sunsets from up there are just unreal, and so is the sunrise.
Yeah. Did both years you do it, was it snow up there?
There was more this year when we went up than last year. Because I went up later in the year last year.
Yeah, it was snowing when we left the hut. Like, we got some pretty good... But it was awesome. It was that, like, light, fluffy shit. You could just... bounces right off your pack. Yeah. No one put a pack cover on.
I mean, there's always snow up there.
Well, see, when I went...
Because there's a whole section that's just always covered in the shade or the shadow of the mountains around there.
When I went up on the JMT in 2013, it was like September... First week of September. And there was, like, no snow. It was crazy. I mean, for sure, pockets where there's gonna... Where there's
always snow.
Yeah. But it was cool. Like, I was showing Blood Bank some of those JMT photos I had, and Muir Hut is just... It looks pristine. It's interesting, the contrast to see it. I prefer it in snow too, because those rocks are kind of a bitch over that pass. It's just long and flat, and then it's just rocks. But the snow was great. You had like a trail, and it was hard. Even I think we went over at 3 or 4 p.m.
Glen Pass is another one of those.
Yep,
like Ray Lakes, that basin in there, Woods Creek.
Yep,
that's
Ray Lakes. See, that's the thing. It's hard to not mention like everything in that stretch. I mean,
that stretch is one of the best sections of hiking ever. But
Kennedy Meadows to Truckee is like just
really picks up after Horseshoe Meadows, going up to Crabtree.
Well, for sure, it's just that stretch because you're like we're getting in the mountains, guys.
Sonora Pass is just amazing.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. And when I was up there, I think I was with there with Hero and Oso, and Oso was like, "Man, this just reminds me of like Colorado."
Yeah,
he lived in like Wyoming.
We were coming down.
Oh, yeah.
We came into the Sonora Pass together. You were just ahead that day that we came in.
Yeah, and then I left I got a ride with my brother. Mm-hmm. I regret not telling him to just like bring a cooler full of beers and stuff. I just felt...
My parents met us there though too, and brought beers and
cool
pizza.
Great.
It was great.
Yeah, see, I regret it, but I was also like, I know how busy of a schedule he had, and like coming to pick me up, like he was doing me a really big favor as well, because I was going to the High Sierra, and then it was kind of funny, like he picked me up, and then I basically left his apartment and didn't come back until like Tuesday from like a Friday. So like it was like that when I did come back, they were kind of like, oh hey, it's good to see you, how was your trip? Like I'd been there for like 5 days or 4 days or whatever.
What about the desert, dude? I feel like the desert gets way overlooked, and it's actually like a really, I think, cool section of this hike. Like,
day 3, day 4, you're getting into some like really cool different sceneries. Shit is changing drastically.
You
like
see a drastic change.
You can like you're on
going into Mount Laguna.
You're on that. You're on, or and then right after too, like just after Julian too. You're always like up on a ridge and like you're looking at where you're going to be going, which is like 100% different from where you're at. You look to your left, it's like desolate and dry and like some high desert thing and brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then the right is like green shrubbery, still like, you know, like manzanita and stuff. But you know what I miss? Sage.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. I used to always collect sage. I don't think I don't know. I may have talked about it. I burned sage like every night for months.
Yeah, it's incense now.
I know now I switched to incense because Captain Crunch, man, he always packed it out. Yeah, I'm carrying a lot of incense right now, but it's nice to do like at the end of a night or in the morning or something. So I try to do it at any time we camp to kind of just clear the space and stuff. And it's not that we need it. You know, it's just sort of like calm.
Nice atmosphere, relaxing.
Yeah, and I mean where we're at, everything smells amazing anyway. So, but it's just not about the smell for sure. But it's cool. Yeah, I do miss the sage, seeing that every fucking way.
I liked the hike coming out of Big Bear and coming down into Deep Creek and out that way. That section was pretty cool, seeing like the changes in environment there.
Yeah. And I was hiking with Simba and Touche at the time.
Mm-hmm. We were all together there.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you guys were just behind there.
No, we were all together there because that's where we were at Deep Creek together.
Oh, yes.
That's where you got your name.
I think I just got there before you, is what I mean. Because, like, I was swimming naked and stuff, but I don't think you were even there when I
don't know.
I was the only person in the group that got naked, and then Primo decided to just take his pants off and
sit down in the sand.
Yeah, it was
good job, Primo.
Yeah, we love you.
We love
I
you.
called him yesterday, and this is good to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little section is super rad. Deep Creek is like one of those places that, like, if I'm ever around Southern California and I've got some wheels and a backpack, I'll probably definitely just do a couple of days overnight there because the vibe really reminded me of Sykes Hot Springs in Big Sur, and that's one of those places where, like, I mean, I've done that as a day hike, gone 10 miles in, soaked for like 4 or 5 hours, drank a little whiskey, 10 miles back, and then even just slept in my car, didn't even camp, and then didn't pay for an overnight because I was still in my car. It's $5 a night, so it's like not bad, but that's your permit too, I guess. But yeah, the vibes there really reminded me of that, and it's like one of those places where you like wouldn't want to just like pop through. You'd want to hit it on a Thursday when you had it to yourself. Then you wanted to see the weirdos coming in on Friday.
And then get out before they get too rowdy.
Yeah. And then, you know, I mean, there's still camping too before and after. And, like, where we went, like...
Rainbow Bridge down there, that whole area was cool.
Yep,
like,
the aqueduct thing. The aqueduct thing we crossed. I mean, that area would be fun to go back and camp at that little, like...
Vasquez Rocks that was a cool spot. I think it was made extra cool for us too because we were like night hiking through Vasquez Rocks and we had like great moonlight and stuff.
Yeah.
And no headlamps needed, and you really got that feeling that you were on a different planet, you know. And they filmed like Star Trek and a bunch of crazy sci-fi stuff out there.
That's what it looked like too.
Yeah, and that was a good desert highlight, I think too.
Yeah,
that was a fun night hike.
That was so cool.
It was a good time.
Yeah, that was the first time I took shrooms on trail.
Nice.
I mean, on PCT 2015. But yeah, that was super cool. There was like 7 of us and night hiked out there. It was good to just get out of Acton KOA because we were getting vortex there real hard.
That's where I caught up. Where Huron I caught up with you guys after
did that 36
Cajon Pass. Yeah, I did like it was.
You still got there not that late. Like I think it was like 9.
Yeah, it was like. Yeah, because I was there for Toasted Toad yelling about how it was 10 o'clock, so I was there before 10.
I remember you ran up, like I had my AirPad out, and you just laid down on top of me, and I was like, oh, Shepherd, but then I was like, fuck, you smell so bad. Like, you took your shoes off, and I was just like, oh, fuck, man. We had all, you know, showered for a day consistently already.
Well, and we were really huddled together in that cowboy camping.
Yeah.
What would you call that? Like snuggle puddle? Or
yeah, kind of a cuddle puddle.
Cuddle puddle. There you go.
There was a hodgepodge of. Toasted Toad was the only one that set a tent up.
Yeah, and then he sets it up like right there
with that wide ass pitch.
Yeah.
Toasted Toad finished like a month ago.
I think it's been more than that.
Yeah, we talked about that too, because he started the day you did.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's fun. Like now we're on Facebook and just everyone is finishing, and
I've been thinking a lot about the end though too.
For sure. Yeah, it's on my mind a lot.
A lot of times when we're hiking and we get spaced out while we're hiking in between breaks, and you get that solitude where you kind of think and reflect or whatever. And end of the trail, last section's been on my mind a lot.
Yeah, and I bet it's even a little bit different for you because you've done like up to, where did you stop?
Basically, I've done like 50 miles or so, 80 miles north of here, something like that, I think.
Okay.
So I still have a little over 100 miles left to go.
How did you get off? Was there a fast?
Oh, that's a whole long story for a whole different podcast.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely get that one in sometime.
Yeah.
Actually, when we get to the point where you got off, that'd be a good time to do it.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is that like for you, it's gonna be even more intense this last section because it's like the stuff you haven't seen and that little final knock it out of the park.
And it's like I've seen so many pictures of this fucking monument, that like marks the end of it. And it's not the end because there's still 10 more miles into Manning Park or yo-yoing back.
For sure. And then fucking hitching out.
Yeah, I mean, and the trail never ends. But I mean, it marks basically the end of this season and this journey, Yeah. And I feel like this season or journey or whatever is a continuation of last year for me, like what you were pointing out.
Yeah.
And so it's been going for that much longer, and now it seems like there's...
Yeah, and
before it was like there's so much left.
I understand like 100% what you're saying, because for me this is like the beginning of like the trail never ending.
And you're going to transition into other adventures, you're going to Thailand and all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
from what I have gotten out of this and coming into it with pretty much no expectations, and what I've gotten out of it, like I think of Thailand as being like anything could happen.
Oh yeah, this is like a great
because this isn't even a trail, I'm just going to a country, and there's going to be the same thing's going to happen. I'm going to find those like-minded people.
I think this is a good way to set yourself up for extended traveling abroad.
Yeah, totally.
And
because you have to
this is a good stepping stone into that.
Yeah, if you're not...
I'm kind of going backwards right now for myself a bit, but
for sure. But
it's going to lead into doing it all again.
Like the trail is definitely I would consider myself someone like easygoing, roll with the punches, go with the flow, burn slow, chill hard. That's like kind of like what I've been working on for a while, but like nothing like put me in shape better than the Pacific Crest Trail. And like, well, I mean, it's not just the
not physical shape though.
No,
right?
Fuck yeah. no. That mental, that mental forming of like when something goes wrong, like we truly are resourcely. Like you
learn how to handle like just random situations that come up that you don't think about in everyday life. Like how to heat up water. Oh well, fuck.
Got to get water. Got to have it. Got to put it.
There's a coffee pot here or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking too. Like
you get resourceful in the situations of like encountering people and the interactions and like how you have to communicate with certain people. Like when you meet, if you're trying to get a hitch, there's certain ways to kind of yogi finagle things. Like, and I think that'll transition into other types of traveling.
Running out of food,
being comfortable with hostels or certain environments,
resupplying
somebody's house,
immediately being put into a situation where, like, within the first 2 weeks, I had seen, Primo, Touche, Amanda, Gemstone, Captain Crunch, Sunshine. I had seen everybody naked. I mean, they had seen me naked too. So it's just like maybe your best friend from back home. Like, you've probably seen him naked once. You've probably stayed in a hotel room with him maybe once or twice or something like that. And you probably didn't even share a bed. And this is like, no, we can fit 3 on that bed. Like, that's going to be fine. Yeah, you're naked. I see you. I saw you take a shit earlier, too. We ate dinner consecutively for 2 weeks. It's just kind of that thing, too. But it immediately, like, just puts you right into it. And, like, I think if you for me, it flowed really well with like who I already kind of was and like who I was becoming.
Yeah, a lot of people that end up on trail end up becoming world travelers or world traveler types, and it definitely sets you up for that if you're not already there.
Yeah,
and it I think helps refine some of your resourcefulness.
For sure.
Yeah, you've already been doing that kind of a thing.
I was trying to like imagine what it would be like for someone who like was that rigid like type A personality that like this would be terrible for someone who's like no I need to know this and you need to know that. It's like,
well, we run into people like that all the time. We just don't hike with them.
This is true.
Yeah.
And there's people like that in your regular day-to-day life too that's like, yeah, we don't associate with them because they're a little bit too anal on stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you had...
Birds of a feather flock together.
Dude, right? If you had crazy expectations and you had like if you weren't able to be flexible and like roll with that situation, like this would be difficult for sure. Like the mental part of it. I know now we don't even like, for sure in the beginning I was like checking what my 25-mile day would look like as far as elevation, and I have not looked at elevation.
Lady Hawk summed it up pretty well on the Enchantment trip as to where we're at right now. And that was when she like kind of huddled us together and she was like, hey guys, like I understand what you're saying now when you say like we don't care when we make it to Canada
or if yeah. Yeah, she's like, I've heard you guys say that, and now I totally get it. And we were like, all just out. We had a really good moment where we were like,
that's what we've been saying.
Fuck yeah, she gets it.
Yeah,
because I think just her hiking with us in the Enchantments, she's probably like, oh, okay, there is no destination, there's no goal. I mean, really, like that. I've been living by this one motto that I saw spray painted on a parking lot in Big Sur, which it was actually like how I got hiking. It's the first day I ever did any hiking. It was in Big Sur a few years ago, not even very long ago. But it was this thing with spray painted on the ground that said, expect nothing, accept everything. So I wrote that in my wallet. I wrote that on like my journal. I wrote that on a lot of things that I would see every day in my calendar. And like for the last few years, I feel like I've kind of been like living that, and that is, I mean, it's not just in a thru hike or anything, man. That's just like a great way to be. Is, of course, you're not going to have no expectations. There's something going to be going on in your brain, but like for the Enchantments, like we didn't know what lake we were going to. Sometimes I wasn't sure if we were even on the trail that we were. Like, I know it's just one trail there.
Yeah.
But I was, like, kind of doubting it as we were going up and, like, in. And I'm like, I didn't look at a map. I don't know where we're going. And it really just made it awesome. And, like, having no expectations, you're, like, any good that happens is great. And anything bad, you're like, well, I didn't think that this was going to be good. So I can definitely handle this bad a lot better. And then I think when something bad happens, the acceptance part of that little mantra, that's like where it's all at too. It's just like you just accept everything, man, like for what it is, and then you move on. Like, what are you gonna do, dwell on? If we were dwelling on some of the bad days here, we would not still be on trail, you know?
No, you can't. I mean, it does happen.
Me and Simba said no bad days. Like, we were always saying that in the beginning. You know, no bad days.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where you get, some solitude and dwell on some things, get lost in your head, and like kind of get down a little bit. But I mean, step back from it all, and you realize where you're at, who you're with, what you're doing.
Yeah,
and
it's
bad days.
It's actually kind of like a one long 6-month mushroom trip. You're just going through this roller coaster of everything. A little bit of everything has happened. So much. I mean, I think I've grown as a person, like, tenfold. Like, it's crazy, like, what it's done for me. And not to say that just anyone would jump on and it would do the same thing for them, but I think it's the mindset I came out with, too. Like, I remember, like, all I was worried about was, or not worried about, all I was, like, thinking about when I started trail, because I quit my job March, maybe, like, 2 days from the end of March, and I started April 2nd I started coming to the trailhead, or April 3rd. And the only thing I was looking forward to was, well, I was kind of living out of my car for 4 months before, but other than like having my own place to stay every night, the thing I was looking forward to is like not having a boss and not having a job for 6 months and living cheaply, like out of a backpack for 6 months. And I remember thinking like, I want to take as long as possible, and my long as possible was 6 months in my mind. And that's, you know, we're on 6 months in a week now. And that was my only expectation coming out, so everything blew my mind. We talk about the people and the friendships a lot, and I think that is like the thing that I've been most satisfied with, or the best part of my adventure has been that, because I kind of was thinking that I'd be alone a lot. I did not see myself being a group guy. I always kind of like fantasized about having like a trail romance which not all it's cracked up to be, but nonetheless, like that was kind of like some stuff that I was going through in my head, but I never thought like the people I camped with the first night were going to be with me towards the end. Yeah. Like that was interesting for sure. And it is a busy trail, so that's part of it as well. But, there's some people that I'd say it's like too busy. Like I was definitely talking to Bloodbank, and she was like, based on her year for sure. And I can see that too. And she's coming from the mindset. CDT, And then like she's also coming from the mindset of like knowing the trail angels and how flooded they get. But as far as on trail goes, I haven't felt like it was too busy. And then as you get hiking, these are your people, you know. So if it's
There's times where bubbles get congested and stuff like that a bit, but
for sure.
And you'll leapfrog with a lot of people. But we traveled or at least I traveled in a relatively big pack. It seemed like for most of the trail this year. And one thing that I thought would be a problem was, campsites, locations where we'd be able to have
that actually has come
spot,
up for sure.
For enough people and everything. But somehow it's always worked out.
Yeah.
Like, we got 5 or 7 or however many people in this group. Like, it says this is one small campsite. How are we going to make this work? But somehow it always works out, or we find a spot that works. Like,
because in the beginning
not camping listed forever, and we're a big group trying to find a spot, and normally you find like a small pinch spot, and we find an amazing spot for
it's not
a dozen people to like lay out.
Just down a bit,
Yeah, it's crazy. I think coming into the trail this year, like you're talking about, like your expectations coming in, I could assimilate with those in the sense of I didn't want to have a job or a boss. Still, I haven't had one for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't as prominent in my mindset, coming in. But for me, a lot of it was just meeting up with Hero again, because Hero and I, we had planned to start together. I hadn't seen him since essentially not even Trout Lake, like just before Trout Lake last year.
Trail Days.
Like 2 days after Trail Days, I lost him. And so we didn't say goodbye to each other or anything, it just disappeared on trail kind of thing. We'd hiked, quite a bit together last year, almost half the trail together.
And then he went to Guatemala.
And then he was in Guatemala all winter, and so we were trying to stay in touch, and it was interesting because, in Guatemala he didn't have constant internet or a phone service or anything like that.
Yeah,
so he would get like to like an internet cafe type place and would get onto Facebook and shoot me a message, and I'd have to be checking on my phone or something, like something pop up, and then get back to him right away to have a continuous conversation back and forth. Otherwise it was, delayed responses, and we were trying to plan out when we were starting and what the permit thing was this year, because they changed it up a bit. And so I was looking forward to just picking him up from the airport and, hanging out with him and meeting some other hiker trash. And then we get to the airport, and I'm looking to pick up Hero at the baggage claim. And this guy, I see this guy, and I kind of recognize him, and he walks over to me, and he says, "Hey, I know you from somewhere." And I'm looking at him, and he looks at me, he's like, "Your name's Shepard, right?" And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "Oh, Grenade." And Grenade was this guy's trail name, but I'm yelling Grenade in the middle of baggage claim. And at this point, Hero has seen me and was coming towards me and got real hesitant after I yelled grenade because he was like, I don't want to be associated with this guy, you know?
Yeah.
And then Haro came up and super stoked to see him, and it was a great reunion right there. So I had been looking forward to that, you know, which was not even getting on trail yet. It was just getting to the airport to get him. And then from there, it was just, I really wanted to meet people this year, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like I had, if there was ever an expectation that I had this year, it was just to like hike with good people, like a group of people, and that's what I've done.
Yeah, dude.
And even then, that wasn't super high on my priority list. Like, I knew I was going to be starting with good people at least, or at least a good people.
Yeah, it's cool too to like witness other bubbles and see how they have their own tribe. You know, they don't have a name.
Oh yeah,
but it's cool to see how
social communities, little cliques and stuff, and you see how they interact with each other, and you can parallel that to how we interact with each other.
Yeah, just best friends out there hiking together.
Everybody living life. You know, you're not the only one doing it, even though you sometimes might think you are. Yeah. And it was also like with Haro and like the whole hiking together thing, like. Friends and family were asking me like if we were gonna hike together the whole way together. I was like, well, I know that we're gonna start together. I don't know that if we'll end together. I would love that we could end together. That would be awesome, you know. But we do hike at different paces, and that's just the way people are, you know. You sometimes stretch out miles and then slow down, and people catch up, you know. And we did that this year, you know. Like we separated at Walker Pass and went separate ways, and met up again. In Tuolumne.
Oh, Tuolumne, yeah.
And then split up again at Sonora Pass, and then met up again somewhere else. And
Trucking?
No, actually, I didn't see him from Sonora Pass until
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah. That's right, because I hadn't seen him too since Sonora Pass.
Yeah, and then that was when we were all together, and we've been together since, you know, and we'll finish together now. But it was. One of those things, like, you just don't know, and I knew that going in that I wouldn't know, and people were asking me just because of my experiences last year.
Yeah.
And I was talking about it on my blog a bit earlier this year, too, with prepping and stuff, and a lot of people asking questions because, you know, on Facebook, talking to somebody who's hiked before.
I asked so many questions.
You know, a lot of people wanting to get input from people that have hiked before, and so I was trying to help people out, give them advice, inputs, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about that with the blog that I was starting, and so basically I wrote a blog post talking about how you don't need to worry and plan anything. Worry about anything, don't plan anything. Like, have your gear, maybe mail some stuff if you want to do that, but especially for the early part of the trail in Southern California, you can resupply as you go. Like, take things as they come, take the alternates, like, open yourself up to experiences. You know, that's the best advice that I wish I had gotten going in, but I didn't even plan anything going in, like, last year.
You kind of acquire that, too. Mm-hmm. But if someone can start you off with it, it's a great way to start with that mindset as well. What's your blog, or how do they find your blog?
Oh, it's www.theshepherdsblog.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wrote one blog entry on, were you on Post Holders? Okay.
No, but I know of it.
It's a good resource for sure for someone like wanting to plan and get into it. They have a cool little system of like
trail journals. And
I planned my I put my gear list out there and was looking at it. It's cool. But anyway, I realized you can do this thing where you text a number and it'll blog for you from a text. So I wanted to test it out before trail. It turns out that was the one blog post I ever did. So my family, they were like, wait, what? Like, you did one post and it was not on trail. And basically all I said was, I want to be a traveler of the PCT, not a tourist of the PCT.
Sure.
And I love that because, I mean,
that's a good way to put it.
It sums it up because...
Yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I posted, something came to my mind. On the Facebook thing before, February, March, I posted on there, hey, does anyone know any, really good blue blazes off of the PCT? I don't think I even knew the term blue blaze at the time, but I said, any side, off trails off PCT that are, can't miss, you know? Mm-hmm. And I planned a couple. I think it was, San Jacinto and Whitney. That was all I really, kind of knew of. And I was really only familiar with California anyway, but no one responded. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's because, like, there's so many miles that, like, people just, like, don't go, like, left and right. They just go north. So I was kind of bummed that no one responded. But, you know, once you get out here, same thing. Like, 2 days, 3 days before something badass is coming up, there's some hype going on about that spot, you know?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's always talking about their area when you run into locals. Oh, this is like the best section or one of the best sections or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever there's any sort of weather that's not low temperature or moderate temperatures and clear skies, like people start freaking out and talking about how everything's bad. It's just something you have to accept if you're doing a long distance hike.
Yeah.
Or just hike in general.
I know Touche and Simba, like, since they're from SoCal and they'd been to Deep Creek, they couldn't stop talking about Deep Creek before.
Yeah.
So it was like on my mind, like, Deep Creek, we're gonna take psychedelics and we're gonna take a zero. And then, like, we got there and the vibes were all weird. And we're like, this isn't like it's an amazing place.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously we didn't even camp there. We camped down the But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's that comes along the way. It's great.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping too out of Southeast Asia is that, like,
yeah, just go in there with the same mindset, dude. I mean,
because
you already got it figured out.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool transition too to, like, you know, like, we're sleeping in a bunkhouse and, like, this is like one of the nicer places that we've stayed at as far as Trail Angel's house is, and, like, it's well kept, and, like, if this was a hostel, it would be considered pretty mediocre. Like, if you had to pay to stay here, you know? I would pay to stay here anyway. Which they take donations, and I would, if you do stay here, definitely donate. They're awesome people.
Try and help out. You know,
ask them if they need help. You know, like, they've got stuff around here and a pretty big property and quite a few things going on. So
yeah, there's always some little project help, maintenance.
Yeah.
You know,
and
adding
actually,
something new.
Don't just do it at the Dinsmores. Do it at anybody that's offering you a place to stay. I mean, if you can't help them,
Ziggy's is a good place to help out.
Yeah, because they're a little older and need the help too.
She usually has, like, a list of things, and Bear's usually working on stuff. Like, we did what we could when we were there, but there's sometimes only so much you can do. You know, take out the trash or whatever, just anything to help out, clean up after yourself. You know, be tight.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, like, if I did have to pay for this place, it would be kind of mediocre or something like that. But the transition to traveling is going to be awesome because, like, what a normal person might look at a room and go, ugh, I'm going to be like,
oh, your standards are definitely different. Yeah, totally.
The standards are so, I'm like, wait, you guys have a bed here? I'm hoping to just meet people that have got a room already and sleep on their floor. Like, that's kind of my mindset right now, where I'm like, oh, I don't need to pay full price because I'll just sleep on a floor. And, like, you know, you go 5 days without showering, and, like, if you're not in the dirt and hiking, like, I'm not going to be showering every day. And I definitely plan on taking a hammock and just hopefully, like, setting up here and there too. But I heard it's not as easy as other places. Like, Hawaii is, you do that all year round, no one gives a fuck. You can kind of do what you want. But I have heard of people, like, getting busted up for camping in Thailand specifically, but, like, you know, I don't know about Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, but
it'll be part of the adventure, figuring that out as you go.
Exactly. I don't even care. Yeah, I mean, there's some people's blogs that I read that have been out there, like, living for 5-6 years. So, but hey, you know, already got a resource too, and in Chiang Mai, our friend Missing Link,
cleverhiker.com. Go check him out.
Cleverhiker.com. He
does a lot of gear reviews and reviews about different trails and places to go hiking and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, great pictures, in-depth stuff. Like,
real nice guy too.
Oh, and he's so cool. Yeah, he embraced us and he became our missing link. We talked about him already, but he's already going to be, or not already going to be. He's there. He went up to Chiang Mai to find an apartment. They said it was a little too busy than they want. It's like in the northern northern area of Thailand, and they're actually going to another smaller area called Chiang Rai. And you can bet your ass that I'm going to be in Bangkok for 2 days and then be on a bus to Chiang Mai, maybe a day, and then
Chiang Rai.
Yeah, and then go to Chiang Rai. And I would really like to stay like a week with him. I'm really hoping he's, like, scouted out some hikes and wants to do because there's, right after that, I was planning on doing like Laos, Cambodia, because I'm up north. But and I don't know why I'm even saying that I have some sort of plan, because I don't.
Yeah.
But if I get to Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, I want to I've heard there's a good one-way flight down to Malaysia, and you can do the highest peak in Southeast Asia in one day. And you still have to pay like a guide, and there's all this, weird fees and stuff, but like it goes from being like a $400 thing that you pay for with a person and a pack and stuff, but you can do it as a day hike for like $40. So, and I'll be in good shape and stuff. But that's
if you're still listening to this episode of this podcast, and two, this podcast in general, props to you, by the way.
Yeah, you've been through a lot. There's been a roller coaster of shit going on through this, but yeah, it's kind of just like us rambling. But honestly, like this is like something that I would want to listen to, and I've made that statement about all the other
ramblings.
Well, no, all the other podcasts that are out there, and why I love them, but also like the reason I'm doing this from trail, just because like I want to capture. I guess it's not even that I want to capture the essence of the PCT anymore. It's more like just want to share with you my experience and like kind of what's going on in my world. Because I actually heard that there's like 2 or 3 people doing podcasts on trail this year on PCT.
I've heard that too.
Which I love. Like I think that's awesome, because I'm gonna go listen to them like immediately when they're out. I hope that they listen to mine. Like at that point, it's just like I want to know like what everyone's experiences were in different places and different things, and how they went about recording, what did they talk about. Like I'm super into that. There's a good one that I just found out about called Pox and Puss. It's 2 people that had hiked the AT previously, and they have cool segments that I like, because they'll call someone that's like on trail, or someone on trail can call a number for them and like leave a voicemail like, cool. I'm up getting drunk in the Shenandoah's Klingman's Dome.
Oh yeah, down there at old what's that place called? West Bigsley Shelter.
Yeah, the West Bigsley Shelter.
Yeah. That's just north of Damascus out there, I think.
Yeah, if you're passing through Damascus,
be sure to say hi to Allgood.
Yeah.
Man, I love that guy.
Yeah, we miss you, Allgood. Where you been, man?
We miss you too, Space Metal.
Yeah. Pew 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 pew. Wow, the rain is really coming down now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is gonna get picked up on here. Maybe I should turn the mic. Well, actually, it's already been an hour and 7 minutes.
If you're listening at this point, you don't mind the rain, you don't mind the trains, which I think we're about to get another one.
Oh yeah, I hear a train a coming.
There's a train a coming around the bend. Don't know the rest of the lyrics, but I'll sing to them.
I was trying to think of them too. I don't know.
Something about going back to Jackson.
Oh yeah. Have you heard that,
Like that
version with Dolly Parton that he sings that?
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jackson. Yeah, I think that might have been just a big truck that went by.
Maybe.
Yeah, man, trail's great. If you are listening to this and you have already hiked or done some sort of something, that like this probably will just translate too into people that travel as well. I mean, it's not just.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's all we're doing.
For as much backpacking as we're doing, I don't think I talk too much about.
Backpacking?
I don't. Like I even talked about it, and like the halfway point, I had this plan to do a gear podcast where I just talk about what gear I have and how long I've been holding it, and maybe what got sent home and what got added. Mm-hmm. And I don't even give it. Like I don't care about that anymore. It's like it's kind of like not what this is about. Like you're gonna figure that shit out on your own and what works for you. Like I don't think there's a reason for me to tell you what gear I have. Unless it's just some like amazing piece of something. I mean, none of my it's all whatever. I'll talk about it one day. I'll probably like at the end maybe do like what's in my bag. I mean, the most important thing is Chill Murray. And he's now Kill Murray. Yeah, I don't know if I talked about that, but Clutch gave me a pistol grip off of some sort of gun, and I carried it for a while. I think I always knew I was going to put it on the bong, but I never really knew
how.
Yeah, and then
that was Packwood number 2 or 1?
Packwood 2.
Or was it Packwood 1? I don't remember now.
It was Packwood 2, because Packwood 1, we were resplying for the 1.
Yeah, you're right, it was Packwood 2.
Yeah, I still had the grip, but I didn't put it on until the second time we were in Packwood. Yeah. Also, second time in Packwood, got the parachute pants.
Oh, yeah.
I also bought a blazer there, but it was just a little too heavy. It was a sick-ass blazer. And I ended up just sending that home with some rocks and some other stuff that I collected along the way. I made a new necklace. The old one that broke and bent in the Boyd Cave in the back there. I guess it didn't break. It just sort of fell off or whatever. And I made a new one with the mahogany obsidian that I found in the Sierras on the way to Ibabel Hot Springs. It's actually the one rock that I didn't send home because I think it was Gemstone that was telling me obsidian is good for travel, like to just have it with you. It's like just helps your travels or something like that. So that was one of the reasons we were giving obsidian to everyone too. It's like, keep this in your pack or whatever. It's like good for travels, blah blah blah. But that was
the obsidian that you gave me, but it's sitting at home on top of my dresser. I dropped it off there and I went back.
Yeah, still in your possession though.
Oh
so
yeah.
That's good. But yeah, that's the one.
Definitely gonna have to charge it when I get home though.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting indoors way too long.
I don't know if you can charge obsidian.
Sure as hell try.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, that was the one rock I kept up until this point. Made it into a cool necklace. In a previous campsite, I found a piece of leather kind of cord, and I was like,
it's like a long squared leather shoelace.
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those that goes through like a heavy-duty hat or something, or something weird. But anyway, I just wrapped that around my trekking pole and thought,
you made a comment about it too. You're like, oh, this will come in handy for something someday.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Everything I've wrapped around my trekking pole,
you ended up using for something?
Yeah, and it's not always me. Like, Simba he broke his shoelace, and I was like, I have a shoelace on my trekking pole. And he's like, why? Wait, do you need this? And I'm like, oh no, this was like on the ground somewhere, and I just put it on my... I also grabbed that like 30 feet of cord the other day. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that.
Figure something out.
Yeah. Built a pretty sweet little dream catcher in my tent.
Did you talk about the break-in?
Oh, no. So what I had said was, because now more stuff has come to light, what I said about the break-in in the parking lot there.
New information has come to light.
Yeah, dude. Lady Hawk's car got busted into. We thought maybe someone backed into it because there was like nothing stolen and the food was not like really even out of place or anything.
There was no hair on it.
Yeah,
like a bear
definitely
breaking a window or anything.
Yeah, we definitely didn't think it was a bear. It looked like some weird forced entry, but it was weird because like nothing was gone and we couldn't figure it out. So like in the recording, I think I just said like, I didn't say much, but basically, Hero later realized last night, like either while I was recording or after. But well, first he found out about the clothes last night.
Yeah.
So he had a bag of clothes and gloves and socks and probably a good $100 worth of stuff, 150. And then this morning, he said he was outside smoking or something, and it all hit him at once, and he was like, "Oh my God, I don't have my tent." So that was actually stolen.
His busted trekking pole.
Oh yeah, and they took his broken black diamond. What is the name of that trekking pole?
Black Diamond Z poles.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna probably be a future purchase for me.
They have so many problems with those things.
That's true, and I'm not actually a carbon guy, but I think I would just. I don't
think you.
I'm in the market.
Good for you.
No,
not that we're talking about gear.
Yeah, I will upgrade my trekking poles. They're fucking.
I like the ones Bloodbank has. Actually, they're pretty light, durable.
But is that carbon?
Adjust. No, they're aluminum.
Oh, they're light as fuck.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
super thin wall.
So some stuff was actually stolen out of the car, which will be good because. Then her insurance will take care of it. Because originally when she called the detective or whoever it was that left the number on her windshield, he was kind of like, no, it looks like it's a bear, blah, blah, blah. There was some food that was rummaged around. And really it was just, there was food in the back. So Really, it was someone broke the window and stole the tent and probably didn't have enough time to go through the rest of the car, but I think there was wallets and other stuff in the car that...
I was glad my stuff was in Bloodbank's car.
Me too. Yeah.
Like, my passport was in there, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I just had extra food and some clothes, which no one would have probably...
Well, yeah, I mean, extra... I didn't really leave too much behind, actually, but
yeah.
I did leave my passport behind, which would have sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, my passport is hopefully in Stehekin right now, waiting for me. I was also supposed to get my court papers sent to me.
So yeah, Hero's using Bloodbank's tent now.
Oh yeah, Bloodbank offered that. Was a fucking
she's
clutch.
going to be out of commission for a few weeks as far as hiking's concerned, so it works out perfect.
Yep.
And I'll just bring it back to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm close to being next door as you can for people in this community in that area.
yeah, man. Yeah. And actually, like, thinking about, like, side quests and new adventures and stuff like that, even before I leave for the Philippines in November, like, I'm, like, seriously considering meeting up with her and doing the SJRT.
Yeah.
But I also, like, really want to do the Lost Coast Trail and do it slow. So that,
Yeah, we'll take it as it comes, but I think you should definitely... Bloodbank and I, we were already kind of talking about like a post-trail, post-surgery for her, like kind of a rehab recovery trip.
Yeah.
And we were thinking about going into the forest, and I got a friend that's got some guns, and take some guns and some chainsaws and cut some wood for some bonfires and do some heavy drinking and maybe some hiking around or something like that for a couple days or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
we're talking about doing something like that.
I'm so...
I mean, and then we're going to obviously be doing other hikes indefinitely anyway.
So you have a car. She doesn't have a car.
Well, my truck's kind of out of commission, I heard.
Okay.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, we go with the flow and we'll make it work. But I was just thinking, I'm like, I can get down there, but I don't know how I get back to San Francisco.
Oh, it'd be easy, dude.
Yeah, I'd figure it out anyway. Craigslist rideshare is really efficient.
Yeah, and my cousin lives in Santa Cruz, and those people that go out there all the time and stuff, and those people aren't
if I could get to Santa Cruz, I could go back so easy.
Yeah.
The one is, like, the easiest place to hitch. So.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Well, I'm kind of getting, like, not tired of talking, but I'm getting, like,
something. I feel it too.
Yeah.
I think it's the rain. A little bit I gotta pee maybe.
Yeah, it got darker out.
A little darker.
I kind of want to eat a Butterfinger.
I want to eat something. Like, that's not like a meal.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure it
out. You know what we should do? In like a couple hours, just do another recording.
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, fuck it. Just keep doing that.
But we'll do it like focused on something else. We'll come up with something.
Because Heroic and the Jesus will be back before everybody. Maybe I'll wait and do it with them.
Figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
No plans. Expect nothing.
Expect nothing from this podcast, except everything from this podcast.
This podcast has been brought to you by Platforms to Slam People on Platforms. Worldwide.com.
Yes! I don't know how to wrap this up, but...
I think we should just do it the same way we always do.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.